What's happening, people? It's Wednesday, the 4th of May, and I'm listening for the third time to an album that just came to me for review. I'll start with this. I received this in the mail. Ships in the Night, Latent Powers. I believe this woman's name is Althea Leventhal. I was not familiar with her before, but I went ahead and checked her out. And American Witch House Vaporwave is partially how she's described. Those terms really don't mean much to me at my age, but I understand as time goes on, things evolve, and these are new genres that people are talking about and aligning themselves with. You know, this is for what it is. My initial impressions are pretty good. Ships in the Night, Latent Powers. This is ambient. I don't find it necessarily dark myself, although that's how it keeps being described. But it's atmospheric, and I'd say haunting would work. She sent me a red vinyl copy, thank you. And I appreciate it because I kind of like this. The words are, again, not really coming into focus much at all. It's the overall picture of the music and her voice. Nice voice. But I like the music, too. And there's no credits, so is this all you, Althea? Writing and making the music? Alethea Leventhal. Excuse me, looking at her on Discogs here. I can recommend this, and definitely this is for people much younger than me, as you can see. But I can hear a pretty well thought out and realized picture of music that complements her voice well. Like I said, I don't pay much attention to lyrics at first, and the little bit I'm catching of the lyrics, it's like, yeah, it's the overall picture that I'm interested in. And this gets a thumbs up from me. At my age, this isn't the sort of thing that I would necessarily be buying. But I can say that this is good quality. And for those that are interested in, what do they say? Vaporwave, witch house, interesting terms. Grab it. Ships in the Night, Alethea Leventhal. Yeah, good move on your part to send it to me. I hear the quality. I hear the work. It's good. Okay. You know, I just got back from a quick trip to the store this morning and ran into a friend hadn't seen for a while, and he tells me he was diagnosed with MS. Man, what's the deal, people? What's the deal? Along those lines, I got news that Peter Frohmader, electronic artist, passed away. Cycles of Eternity is the only thing I've ever found by him, and I look for his stuff on the Cuneiform label, Steve Feigenbaum's label. Another labor of love and a great contribution to the world because of him championing this music, this higher level, I'm going to say it like that, this higher level of creativity where people are making music and art for the sake of it, as opposed to, I think I can make some money with this, which is the main thing we're assaulted with by the airwaves and by the media, is product. Buy. Don't know anything about Peter Frohmader. I've read about him in the past, known about him for a long time. And like I said, I've looked for his records on vinyl. I've never found any. But he just passed away, unfortunately. Rest in peace, Peter. To recap yesterday, thank you folks for your kind words and your support regarding my personal losses as well as the losses to the world of music and art. And my nephew Karim called me yesterday, and I very much appreciated the call. And yeah, folks, show love when you can. My interviews yesterday were fantastic. I really enjoyed being interviewed. So the one for the reader will be out in June, and that article is about upcoming music venues that are being built and are going to be opening within the next year here in Omaha. And they wanted my input regarding what I think about that. Do I think there's a market for more music venues, oversaturation and stuff? That was a good conversation. The other interview, and if you see this, Julius, I really enjoyed the interview. You did a good job. My interview for the Omaha magazine, that'll be out. The first article will be out in June. The Omaha magazine article, which is about me and my music, will be out in July. That was really fun. We talked for hours. I don't know how many hours we talked, at least a couple. And still, then I felt like there was so much more that I could have shared. I made sure to talk about my family and my beginnings, which I think is really important to my who I am and why music is so important to me. I give a lot of credit to my family, my parents. But we went all over the place in the conversation, and he said he may have to get in touch with me to get more information. But I really enjoyed the conversation and talked about many different things. And so we'll see how that turns out. Of the music that I played yesterday, not too much, actually. Not too much. I did work yesterday after they left. Pulled some records from the P section that I haven't listened to in a while. PGR Silence. This is sound work. Kim Cascone is the name in the group that I recognize. He's gone on to do some well-known stuff. This is really good. This is back when people were still doing tape cut-ups in lieu of sampling, because samplers weren't around so much yet. So this is a lot of tape cut-ups using the juxtaposition of subjects. You'll hear a snippet of a conversation, then certain words unrelated, but they'll put together, they kind of trigger thoughts and ideas. Jarring, not ambient, smooth, very compelling, and a real good listen. I really enjoyed this. Played the whole thing. Silence by PGR. Poison gas research was what that meant originally. Played some of this, didn't get quite through it. This is one that's a curiosity. It's not very listenable on the overall. Peymont, Cybernetica. This was some sort of, I looked it up. There's some background on what this was about. There was a purpose for trying to put these sounds together. And it's not very musical. And it is something that draws your attention, makes you think about it, and parts of it are kind of irritating. Interesting. Cybernetica. The sort of thing I'm interested in, though, okay? Speaking of cuneiform, here's one that was in the P's that happened to get pulled because I could never remember what it sounds like. PFS, Illustrative Problems. And looking at the names on here, I don't recognize the people in the group. Seems like there's a bit of Dada involved with this. There's some humor, and it's a bit all over the place. Musical passages with sax, bassoon, percussion, violin, and then there are like these sound experiments. An interesting listen, still one that I come away from wondering, how good do I think this is? Still a bit on the fence. But it's the sort of thing that I like having in the collection, and it's curious listen. If you see this, Richard, this just came in. I have to give it more of a listen. Sudden Infant Lunatic Asylum. My first impression is good, but I got to listen to that. So I made a promo for, I'll try to remember to put it in right here. So it's Bandcamp Friday on May 6th, this Friday, where they're doing the Bandcamp thing. And I'm releasing a new record of old material. I'm calling it Past is Present. And none of this stuff has been put out before. So that's coming up. Still enjoying Devin. This is real good. At some point, it'd be cool to try to collaborate, but I'd like to do it in person to try to catch how you operate rather than trying to send files back and forth. That's not so much fun. But I really like your new CD, Devin. It's real good. And I'm playing it. It's like, damn, this is what I like. So people, besides my music, pick up on my nephew's stuff, Osio Silver. It's good. It's about where it's at today. A couple more days of the Facebook madness. It does seem like I'm being targeted by someone that just wants to fuck with me, and I don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not that big of a deal. It's just unfortunate to have to deal with unpleasant negative energy. Because I've done nothing to be continually restricted on Facebook, but big deal. I have other stuff to do, so that's what I'm doing. Talk to you later, people.